All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Legend of the Three Kingdoms. Yes, this is one of my custom D&D campaigns set in my screwed up, messed up custom world that when I see all this stuff I made for it, I question my own mental health. Um, but yeah, and the people below me are the people that are crazy enough to subject themselves to, let's call it what it is, mental abuse. Um, and yeah, some slight changes. Uh, I have finally gotten with the times and have set up a campaign for this campaign on the D&D Beyond. So if you are watching this live, you can actually see the characters' stats and everything through the D&D Beyond overlay. So if you're wondering, oh gosh, how many hit points do they have, or man, I wonder if they're going to be able to survive this attack. Now you can know in real time. Unfortunately, since that's done through um, Twitch, it's not something that I will be able to import to the recordings for the YouTube videos. So if you're watching this on YouTube, come watch us live. Get even more cool stuff. Other than that, normally I run games every other week because I've only had one campaign going. Starting the next week, my second campaign called Traversing the Veil goes live. Same time, same place on twitch.tv/TrainerJody and on at 9 p.m. Central Time. So please tune into that. We have some cool new features that we're going to be testing in that game that may eventually make it over here, including allowing the audience to actually interact with the game and with the players and or their characters. So yeah, tune in for that stuff. Other than that, we kind of ended on a bit of a cliffhanger last time. So, and I was told last time I was really quiet, and it doesn't look like that's approved. So, I'm gonna see if here, kill the background noise, and just to see if I can't get the sound to work a little bit nicer so you guys can hear me. All right, that should be a little bit better. We'll see how this works. So, I think it's time to return to the legend of the three kingdoms. The party has discovered a rift, a tear, to the Shadowfell, ancestral home of the Dark Elves. Unfortunately, because this rift is in a place where it shouldn't be, it's causing all sorts of problems. Investigating it after dealing with a shadow dragon that was able to get through it. The party descended into a chamber beneath it and found 4 elemental orbs powering a magic circle none of them had seen before, with 5 vampiric bodies also a part of this ritual. As the party investigated more, one of the spheres broke, and an ally they thought they had lost returned to them, though slightly different than before. After calling in some help from a vampire wizard, they discovered that the orbs were what was powering the ritual and was keeping the rift open. Deciding to the best way to close this rift was to destroy the orbs. The party decided to take out each orb one by one. However, every time they attempted to close an orb after the water orb, a powerful elemental force was birthed from it, and they had to destroy it. The wind elemental force was damaging, but they were able to make it through. The fire elemental force, however, proved to be much more deadly and dangerous. Having the ability to not only hurt them with fire, but to drain their stamina through waves of intense heat. The party nearly all succumbed to death, but were able to end the creature at the very last moment. One of their members was not quite lucky enough to make it that far. Nameless, the newest member of the party and least understood, unfortunately succumbed to the waves of exhaustion put off by the flame creature. Henri, seeing there was some sort of connection between him and this other person, started investigating this strange light coming from the corpse that only he could see. Knowing that part of his being had not been transferred with him when he was taken from the rest of the party. Not knowing what to do, he sat down and attempted to contact his pact master to hopefully figure out what to do next, while the rest of the party tries to recover from their injuries. So you all are still in the room. The temperature, the ambient temperature in the room has dropped considerably since you've vanquished the fire force. However, now something else seems different. As the room cools and gets much colder, you see Henri kneel down and get into a meditative position near the corpse of Nameless. And as you see him start concentrating and start chanting under his breath, you watch the bracer on his right arm start to leak water that starts to engulf his hand. Not a completely bizarre thing to see, seeing as you've seen him do that many times to use his new whip. But as it envelops his hand, it goes up his arm, envelops his chest, goes down his other arm, starts going down, enveloping his legs, and eventually gets up to his chest and head and swells until he is encased in this marble of water. And as you watch further, this marble of water going from the kind of crystal clear water that you would suspect becomes darker and darker, going from clear to a light blue to a deep dark blue to eventually a deep indigo, to the point where you can no longer see Henri in the center of it. Henri, on the other hand,
is dead. All right, fun, guys.
Yep. Hope you have a new character. No, Henri, as you feel yourself kind of falling deeper and deeper into a meditative trance, you feel the water start climbing up your arm and casing you. And normally, as the water starts to go over your nose and mouth, normally this would induce panic for you. Seen as anyone would panic if their air supply was cut off. But having existed for as long as you did in the elemental plane of water, you kind of got used to the feeling of water surrounding you. And so you just keep breathing naturally, and you discover as the water completely surrounds you and starts expanding into something bigger, you can still breathe fine. And a familiar sense of weightlessness starts to flow over you as you slowly open your eyes. You open your eyes to a vast ocean. All around you is water as far as the eye can see. In the distance, you can see fish and other creatures swimming, and some even larger creatures that you've never identified, living in this world composed entirely of water. Adjusting to the situations and the sensations, you eventually start to see the water in front of you start to swirl and collide with itself, and it eventually solidifies itself into a shape that you've seen many times before. It starts with a handle just large enough for a single hand to grasp it, with a pommel at the bottom in the shape of a wave cresting. At the top of the handle, you see a small circular guard in the shape of a whirlpool form. From that, you see a tendril of lithe water start whipping out, going every which way, becoming more solid, more and more solid. And the longer you look at the rope portion of the whip, the harder it is to tell where the whip begins and the water ends. Suddenly the whip itself coils itself around, and you hear a familiar voice, not only audibly as you're used to, but in your head and in your chest. This voice seems to resonate from inside you. My pupil, why have you contacted me?
I'm lost. I don't know what to do.
Perhaps I could give better counsel if you were to explain exactly what has led you to be lost.
I somehow have had this connection with an entity in the other plane. Because I don't know if I'm not in the plane of water, so I'll just assume I am not. Or I am. That I was told I have a connection with, and I need to find some way of rekindling that connection.
So you have found the half of you that has been severed, that I was not able to save from the sphere of an annihilation. This is good.
Fortunately, he died.
This is
And
less good.
whatever essence he possessed that I require is slowly drifting away, and I don't know what to do.
I had hoped when you found your other half, we would have more time to discover the means with which to join you together again. Alas, this seems not to be the case. You said this creature has died?
Yes,
How recently has the creature's life been ended?
minutes.
There may still be time. The magic used for resurrection takes the intangible pieces of a being's existence and forces them to connect with the physical manifestation of that being. If they were to use resurrection magic to join the intangible with your physical being, that may join you together. Do you have someone with you who commands the power of life and death?
Well, I think one of them doesn't like me. And the other, I'm not sure if she's capable.
Well, that would be my only solution. When the body perishes, the intangible essence of a being leaves to go to the afterlife relatively quickly. The longer you will wait, the more chance it will be gone permanently, and you will never gain that part of your being back.
See what I can do.
I have faith in you, my pupil. You have shown to be very resourceful. Contact me again once the threat to this realm has been satiated.
I just nod.
And with that, you see the oceans around you start to churn. The waters get faster and faster. You start feeling the weight of gravity start gripping your body again. And this is slowly, you start to return to where you are. You feel the water slowly draining off of you. You take a lungful of actual air, and you are slowly but surely back in the underground cavern. The rest of you watch as this perfect marble of water stays there for a moment, and nothing seems to happen. It's crystal smooth to the point where you almost might mistake it for a glass sphere instead of a moat of water. And as you all try to kind of figure out what's going on, just as quickly as it appeared, it starts to melt again and get absorbed into the bracer. Suddenly, Henri is there, taking large lungfuls of air, kind of blinking and looking around as his eyes get readjusted to the strange lighting conditions down here.
I will go over to Vala first because, trust. Vala.
That was new. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Do you have the means of bringing the dead back?
That is not a gift I have yet.
And then, for hearing that, I will find Leopold.
Okay. And he's right next to Vala because he was keeping her alive.
I'll ask the same question to you, Leopold.
I can revivify. If you want me to try and save your friend, I can try, but the time limit for Revivify is very quickly approaching. Had I realized that's what had happened to him, I would have gone much sooner. But I can attempt to revive your friend. And he starts walking over. He sheathes his sword and kind of rubs the holy symbol on his shield as he comes over. And you see him start chanting.
I want to make sure I'm in contact with Nameless and near just in case if that's what I need.
Okay. And as you kind of place your hand, he kind of looks at you. This magic is very it's very tricky. If I did do something wrong, I could inadvertently cross some wires. So you really shouldn't be touching the corpse of the thing I'm trying to revive. I need the soul to go back into the corpse. And
Hey, Jody.
Yep.
According to what my pager was saying, would I gather that I would need to be... how can I word this? Do I gather that I should listen to Leopold or keep my hand on the body?
From the very little explanation you were given, you don't know. Because you don't have knowledge of how this spell works. However, in front of you is someone that actually does. So explaining to him might actually... you do know that this... What you're going to be asking them to do is use this spell in an unconventional way. So...
Gotcha. So
go ahead.
I was going to say, I will explain to Leopold the situation, and just because of the lengthy explanation, I'll just, for brevity's sake,
montage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks at you like you're nuts. He's like, I've never... This is... Wow. We really don't have much time. Vala, I need your help, and you. And he points at Lillian. I may need you as well.
Okay.
Apparently, what he wants me to do is resurrect him when he's not. It's very confusing. Lillian, is it?
Yes.
You have experience dealing with the point between life and death, and flirting with that line.
You can say that.
If I'm going to do this correctly, I need to know exactly when that point is going to be.
Alright.
And Vala, you have the ability to increase concentration and skill. We're both going to need that help as much as you can give.
I pull out my lo-fi playlist. Study. Yes. Okay.
That is amazing. Okay. What I'm gonna need from you, Lillian, is do you use wisdom or charisma as a blood hunter?
Intelligence now.
Oh, intelligence. Okay. Make me a flat intelligence check to kind of gauge how well you're able to view and see everything going on.
And I am. Wait, let me just double check to see how many of those I actually have left. Yes, I will use. I will play some notes, some tunes, help everyone focus, and I will give inspiration to both Lillian and Leopold.
Okay.
So that was an extra.
So your inspiration dice, Daniel?
It is a D10, I believe.
Okay.
Well, Leopold is feeling very inspired. He got a 1. On the inspiration to the die, his D20 roll, you will find out. Lillian, how'd you did it do?
30.
The 30. So you failed. That's good. Yeah. Okay. So, you some of you have seen a Revivify spell before. It's actually as complicated a process as returning a soul to a body is. It's a remarkably simple spell. And it's remarkably quick. Now, it normally has to be done within a minute, and this is kind of pushing that. But as you see him casting this spell, though, this is not a Revivify you are used to seeing. As he sits there, focusing the spell and basically playing with the threads between the life and the death. This is unlike any revival spell you've ever seen, ever heard described. This is just a very weird the thing. You all start to see this strange outline of energy floating just above Nameless's corpse. And you will watch as Leopold, grasping his shield and extending his hand, the symbol on the front of his shield starts glowing with this bright, welcoming yellow light, mimicking the sun. And he sits there. You see the form itself start to slowly descend back into the body. Lillian, as you're watching this, you're seeing the other half that you've never had a chance to see before. You'd seen everything up until the death in your own studies and experiences as a blood hunter, Order of the Ghosts, this is Slayer. And now you're seeing basically what's on the other side of the mirror. And as it gets right to the point that you have pushed yourself to, and you've seen other ghost slayers push themselves to, you very quickly just kind of grab on to Leopold's shoulder to let him know. And at that moment, you watch Leopold pull his hand back and grasp Henri on the chest and kind of just pull him in very close. And you guys start feeling the air around you not just grow cold, but grow painful, like a stinging winter wind that strips away your warmth. You guys start feeling your skin hurt. A wind picks up that seems to cut directly through your armor down to your bones, piercing flesh and metal and clothing. The whole room seems to suddenly get very, very dark and then explode with this strange, unearthly, pale green light, as more and more strange things keep happening. And suddenly, as the pain starts to become too much to bear, there's a large kind of explosion of light, and all light in the room becomes blackness. As you all slowly get up and look around, the strange ambient light that seems to come from nowhere in this room starts to return. You look around and you see where Nameless's body used to be is a scorch mark. And you see Leopold and Henri both unconscious on the ground. And I need the 3 death saves from Henri.
So you're saying I took out a vamp after all? Oh, that's a riveting start. It's a fail. Oh, wow. That's 2 fails. So let's go with tradition, shall we?
So,
D20.
yeah, this may have been a lot of work for nothing.
Should I chance roll 20, guys?
This is up to you.
Well, that's a 3rd fail.
So, you guys will watch as Henri seems to take a breath, and then all air escapes from his lungs, and they don't rise again. Vala, as you see this, you also look at Leopold, and you watch as his life is slowly fading as well.
I will go. Oh. I will go over to Leopold and cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
At 2nd level.
All right. Go ahead and roll your healing.
So that is 11 points of healing.
So you watch as he takes a breath in, and just like Henri, he starts exhaling, and all the life is leaving his body, and you very quickly grab on to his chest and infuse him with healing magic, and as the last bit of air escapes from his lungs, he starts breathing again.
Something went wrong.
I believe you. Oh, that's not good. Oh, what happened?
I'll.
What do you tell us?
I don't think Henri. And I'll kind of like try to help him up a little bit, get him like seated, and then I will go over to Henri, and I will dump a 3rd level cure wounds into him.
Okay. As you sit there and you focus the magic, and you force the healing energy into him, it just dissipates into the ground around him. Nothing seems to happen.
I will begin trying to perform CPR.
Okay. So you guys will watch as Vala goes over, tilts his head back, breathes a couple times into his mouth, and just starts pressing on his chest repeatedly and rhythmically. What are the rest of you guys want to do?
I will this. I'll start quit interview for what was supposed to happen. What?
I was supposed to join the two halves, I guess. It's very... He wasn't supposed to die. I mean, that should be fairly obvious. I've got one last Revivify in me, but I'm not 100% certain I know what'll happen.
Have to try.
Yeah,
Yeah, do it. If you go down, I can heal you, but yes.
All right. And as he sits there, focusing, and places his hand out, you all feel the world start to fade away. And you're suddenly all in a strange darkness. All around you, you see nothing but darkness, except for a small 10-foot in diameter circle of light. You don't know where the light comes from, but it's there. Outside this is a circle. Not only is it the darkness, but the darkness has a form. It rushes around like waves on the ocean. It tries to encroach closer and closer, but the circle of light keeps it away. The center of this circle is Henri, suspended in midair, slowly fading, becoming translucent. From outside this is a circle, you hear of a voice. Both so loud, you fear that just the sound of it will shatter your bones, but also so quiet that you're barely able to ascertain that it exists. And the voice says, "What do you offer for me to relinquish my claim on his soul?"
I will take my lute,
Mm-hmm.
and I will begin playing a song.
Okay.
I don't have the lyrics in front of me, but
That's perfectly fine.
my toss a coin to the outcast.
All right. Go ahead and make me a performance check.
Oh, yes. 30. And then
Go ahead.
Sorry, and then when I'm done, I will take the my loot and I will throw it into the darkness.
Okay. So you feel this strange feeling of warmth just kind of radiate from your chest all the way down to your fingertips and to toes. Even the tip of your nose has this kind of tingle to it. Again, the voice sounds. "Who else has something to offer?"
I will take off that I wear. And it has the third lady symbol.
Okay.
And I'll say a quick prayer in the third lady rather than that way in the darkness.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a wisdom check.
Nine.
Okay. So as you say your prayer, you throw the necklace into the darkness, and you wait for a moment. Suddenly, the necklace is thrown back into the circle. "Who else?" and time seems to pass.
I'll pull out my hand axe that I've had since I was in the mercenary company.
Okay.
And I'll start thinking back to the time when I lost them fighting against the people that attacked us, kind of doing a mock battle performance. And at the very end, as I'm going for the last guy, I'll throw it like I'm throwing it at him, but into the darkness.
Okay. Make me an athletics check.
Let's go. Oh yeah, it's going to be a 29.
Another failure. Gosh, you guys just can't seem to roll. Suddenly, you guys hear kind of a rumbling sound. You watch as Henri's body starts to kind of writhe and shake. The body starts becoming more and more solid. And suddenly you can't see through it anymore. It seems if affected by the kind of slight breeze around you, his hair gets tossed a little bit, and you watch him slowly descend down to a prone position. And the voice you've been hearing starts to alter. Instead of the deep, resounding, almost overwhelming bass voice you heard before, suddenly a much more gentle, caring, feminine voice comes out. Your sacrifices are worthy, as is your connection to your friend. I relinquish my claim on his soul for now. But one day, he will return to me for judgment, as you all will. And with that, you're back in the cave. Leopold is on the ground, conscious just barely, though, obviously exhausted, almost to the point of unconsciousness. Vala, you realize you're still rhythmically pressing on his chest, trying to just force the life back into him. And as you're pushing on his chest, you suddenly feel something strange, something pushing back. And as you just kind of hold your hands there, you feel dum dum, dum dum. You feel the heart beating. You feel the lungs start to expand underneath you and stop due to the weight you're placing on them.
I'll pull back.
And as you do, Henri, you feel air fill your lungs again. It burns. As you get up, your lungs feel like they're on fire. Your throat feels like you've just swallowed shards of glass. You start coughing. Surprisingly coughing up a little bit of the liquid that you don't know where it came from. And your entire body is just completely in pain.
Question.
Yep.
Is this Vulcan Henri or not?
As you look around at these people that you've known for a little bit, you feel it's just a strange thing that you haven't felt in a very long time. You think it's joy. You're happy to see these people. You can't even fight off the smile that just starts to appear on your face at the relief that they're all still there.
I just lay there, smiling.
God, what is that on your face? Is that...
Something that's been missing for far too long.
Oh, great. Leopold broke him.
I will cast Cure Wounds at first level on Henri and give him 8 hit points.
Henry, you had 1 hit point, and now you have 9.
And then I will go over and check on Leopold.
Leopold is coughing a little bit. He looks beyond exhausted. Like, you see, he's even having a hard time keeping his head upright. And he kind of shifts around and kind of braces himself against you, just kind of leaning on you. And he looks at Henri, just grinning. I've never had anyone react to Revivify like that.
Well, I'm special, I guess.
And he turns to you very weakly. Your friends are weird. And then passes out.
I will kind of help lay him back down for a second, and then I will use my very last spell slot to give him 7 hit points.
Hey, Jody.
Yep.
Do I have any more exhaustion levels from being revived? I don't know how this works.
Normally I don't think Revivify causes a level of exhaustion. What's your exhaustion level right now?
I'm at 2 from the last fight.
Yeah. We'll say you go up to 3. Cause it'd be a dick move to, like, oh, you're alive. Here's another level of exhaustion. Well, I'm dead now.
Alright. Do any of these two, I kind of look between the two of them. Do either of them need to be carried out?
Make me a medicine check.
I think at this point, everyone needs to be carried out.
11.
Yeah. Looking at Leopold, you don't see him climbing anything anytime so soon, especially with that heavy plate armor. Henri, on the other hand, at this particular point, you're surprised he's conscious.
Gotcha.
Like, you'll be impressed if he can walk. But he was dead like a minute ago, so, I mean, this is an upward trend.
Today's been strange. As I'm like pulling out some rope so I can attach Leopold to my back so I can carry him out.
Anyone else?
Yes, I would also like to be carried out.
I just want to get out of here.
Oh.
Well, you guys still have the rope, so those of you that are not completely dead can get out without too much difficulty. And for the two that can't really get up, you guys can basically tie the rope around them and pull them out. As you guys are doing that, you hear a voice from the corner of the room. That was fascinating.
Shut up.
Excuse me. I've just watched a paladin return a soul from a different body into a body that already had a soul. I mean, the mere... I could write papers for the rest of my life on this. This is just fascinating.
So please just go do it. I'm tired of hearing you.
You know, you've had a very full day. I take it things are stable here now for at least a little while.
Possibly. Nothing is blown up, so I would assume it's worked. Again, we're dealing with something that has never been done before, so the fact that we're all still breathing, well, for the most part, I take that as a sign that it worked, but without more empirical testing, I can't really be 100% certain. Maybe 84% certain that we are in the clear.
Thank you.
Yes.
Back to camp?
Back to camp.
Yeah, back to
All
camp.
right, back to camp.
Right. It doesn't really take much effort to get back to your camp. As soon as you're there, Leopold, almost without thinking, starts slowly trying to gather wood to make some sort of a fire. But with how tired he is, it's kind of a pathetic effort.
I'll stop him and take over and let him rest.
Once the wood is gathered, I will
Do your thing.
have to really focus and create a bonfire.
Okay. So as you're all just sitting around, you can see in the distance the portal itself, or the rift itself, has gotten much smaller. And the edges keep kind of fluctuating in and out of existence. But as far as you can tell, it seems to be just a stable-ish, as much as a unstable rift that bypasses all known laws of planar travel can be.
All right, who's got first watch? Or is it still midday, or is it kind of late?
It's kind of midday-ish.
Oh.
You guys got started pretty early in the morning, and each one of those fights, only took you, maybe to 10 minutes per fight. So you guys are around noonish, maybe like 1 or 2 o'clock.
Day drinking?
That is the best idea I've heard in quite some time.
Ah, yeah. Who's got alcohol?
Not me.
I'm out.
I don't have any.
Crap.
We didn't really pick any up in the last town.
Well, if you're in need of alcohol, I can see what I can conjure up.
Never had it and don't plan to.
I would be in your debt.
Wonderful! And you see him start kind of conjuring and things, and as he sits there and he focuses his magic power, nothing. Oh, so screw this. You watch him just vanish. About
He's useful.
10 minutes later, kind of loud popping, almost explosion sound happens, and you see a keg of something and this wizard standing there going, "Someone tap this thing."
I will go over and attempt to tap the keg.
I'll go over and assist.
Between
Yeah,
the Between the three of you, as soon as you guys hear the gag, there. Between the three of you, you guys create a makeshift tap. It ain't perfect, but it's not bad. And as you start pouring out the alcohol, you realize that this is some sort of beer or ale or something like it. And it's not bad. You've never tasted anything like it before, but it's not bad, and it's got a decent amount of alcohol in it.
This blood capital special?
No, I couldn't go quite that far. This was, I had noticed that there was a traveling merchant that had passed somewhat nearby us a few days ago, and, I just kind of went to him, and then he was more than willing to part with one barrel, especially for one of his overlords. So, yes, I have no idea what this is beyond it's fermented and alcoholic.
It's delicious.
Wonderful.
It is.
And you watch him to take a big swig, and you watch him just go, it's alcohol.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't pay for it.
I'll just stick to my water. You guys have fun.
I go to pull out my loot, realize I don't have my loot anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and just start singing a couple of drinking songs.
Right. So you guys are able to get a long rest. A long rest will remove 1 level of exhaustion.
And double my hit points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The app doesn't remove exhaustion on long rest. I have to manually do it.
No, it says right here. It says recover 1 level of exhaustion during long
Yeah,
rest.
I'm using the app
The
on
app,
my phone.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Let me see if they gave me my spell slots back, 'cause that's the most important. Okay, yeah.
One thing I would like to do, if there's some time, I will attempt to find a couple of rocks
Mm-hmm.
that are vaguely roll shaped.
Okay.
And I will find a tree, set the rocks in front of the tree, and say a few words for Nameless.
Okay. And as you finish your little eulogy, you do feel the wind kind of pick up a little bit. And kind of blow your hair into your eyes a bit. And one of the roll-shaped rocks just kind of rolls away. Henri, as you kind of wake up from your long rest, you... the first thing you notice is you feel very strange. And you have this strange longing for bread.
Henri's gonna carb load.
As you kind of become more aware of yourself, you just start realizing you can still remember the 6 months that you spent in the or however long it was. My brain's not working right now.
I believe it's like 4 to 6.
Yeah, okay. In the elemental plane of water. But you also have like a month's worth of memories that you're not quite sure where they came from. You remember waking up and a large purple dinosaur trying to eat you, and rolls are magic. You are very certain of this. Rolls are most definitely 100% magic. And fighting another vampire and freezing a bunch of wolves, and it's really strange because you have these memories of the exact same time, but they're two different memories.
Why do I want to loot? It's weird.
So
I would give you one, but I'm fresh out.
So as you all kind of get up and dust yourselves off from the very kind of impromptu rest you all took, you guys do hear kind of a crackling lightning like sound in the distance. And as you look over to the rift, you can see it's now, the edges are now looking much more unstable. It keeps getting bigger and then smaller and bigger and smaller. And you can see little bolts of a purplish energy kind of coming off of it. And you hear the wizard go, "Well, I think my magic may be wearing off."
Yeah, we should probably do something about that, shouldn't we?
Possibly.
I want to walk up to Leopold if he's awake.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to just pull him aside and be like, I can't thank you enough for what you did.
Well, and he kind of takes you away from the good group. Maybe you can thank me. What's about to happen is not going to be pleasant. I have to keep the wizards safe, or this will all have been a waste of the time. I need you to keep Vala safe.
It's not a problem.
Cool.
No, Lillian, I think it's just me and...
Yeah, they're away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I'll pull out my holy symbol. It's like, well, we do have similar interests, and kind of show him my holy symbol.
No, I don't think you understand my meaning. I get that Vala is powerful and an important part of your team. But even if we succeed, bad things may still happen. She's not going to listen to me. So I need you to convince her to stay away from this fight. We've already seen the last two creatures. One of you has already died. I need you to convince her to stay away.
As in, you don't want her going down there at all?
I don't want her within a mile of this place when we fight.
See what I can do, but I mean, we literally have her name meaning to just do whatever. She doesn't listen to us. That's why we call anytime someone wanders off to Vala.
Hey, and he kind of brings you in close and just looks at you just straight in the eyes. If you really think you owe me. And this isn't a request. I'm calling your favor. Figure out a way to make it happen. And he turns on his heel and walks away.
As soon as I see them kind of go off on their own,
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go to wherever his stuff is
Mm-hmm.
and put 600 gold into his bag.
Who?
Leopold.
Leopold, okay. So you're paying, okay.
Hey, resurrections aren't cheap.
Yeah. Oh, to be honest, he is a vampire noble. From the little bit you remember, he's got the cash.
I don't need a sugar daddy.
As you put the money in, you see him turn on his heel and start walking back, and he kind of sees you by his stuff, and you see him go from this very kind of grim face to a more neutral one. He doesn't really smile, but it looks more pleasant than the expression he had. And he walks over. So, how are you feeling?
Still a little slower than what I would like, but nothing a few days in an inn wouldn't fix. How are you? Well,
I
know that.
I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. And I discovered new definitions of pain and headaches, and I really don't want to do that again. It would probably be best if none of you died again. Like, I'm just going to put that out as a blanket statement.
I don't think we've ever agreed on anything more than that.
Good. I have some preparations to make, if you'll excuse me.
Of course.
And you watch him kind of wander over, get into a kneeling position, and start praying. Which you assume is just, he's preparing spells and the things like that. Normal paladins is his stuff.
Yeah.
The rest of you kind of wake up, still not feeling great, but definitely better than before. What do you all want to do?
Oh, I do want to pull Vala a fair amount away from Leopold while he's meditating.
Okay.
So, despite my upbringing and overall character, lying's not my strong suit. I know, hard to believe, right? Leopold wants to make sure you're not in the next fight for your safety. He wanted me to talk you out of it, but I know that that's a losing battle and not possible. I mean, sure, I could use magic to force you, but
You could certainly try.
I would rather not go back to that part of my life.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you think I'm going to set out this fight, you're mistaken.
I know you're not. But push comes to shove. If it looks like shit's about to hit the fan, and we're not going to make it, I'm getting me and you out of there to keep that promise. If that means the others die in the process, if it comes to it, that's just how it's going to have to be, unfortunately. Because I can only take one person with me to get out of there in a pinch.
Okay.
Just
And
letting you know ahead of time. I'm not that quick, so I'm not going to be as impactful in this next fight.
I see. Well,
Just hoping fire elementals don't live on the plane of Earth, right?
What type of elementals?
Let's hope fire elementals don't live on the plane of Earth as well.
No, I'm assuming I'm going to be fighting an earth elemental.
I've never wanted it more to be something that isn't fire.
You're telling me. Oh,
Hopefully, hopefully it doesn't come to it and I have to abandon everyone else to save you. I'm really hoping that. I just got you guys back.
I mean, I'm hoping we don't all die as well. How are you feeling?
Well, given the circumstances, a whole hell of a lot better than I was for the past, 6 months.
Yeah. I'm glad to have you back. I know we all are. I knew you weren't gone.
Well, on the bright side, I don't fear water anymore.
That's true. Hmm.
I am sorry about your friend. Weirdly, I have memories that I don't know how I got them, but I have them. I remember killing a vampire. So I'm going to count that as number one. But I didn't kill the vampire, so it's a little confusing.
Well, yeah, I can see that. I'm just glad that part of him is still alive within you. It would seem.
And I'll just think really hard and try to turn into a T-Rex knowing I can't.
You
Yeah, I
watch
can't
as
do that.
Henri just kind of gets this weird look on his face for a moment and then goes,
Could have sworn I was able to do that.
At that moment, I walk up, it's like, you trying to poop?
I mean, now that you mention it,
You know,
no, I just remember turning into a T-Rex. But I've never seen a T-Rex. This is confusing. I'm gonna stop.
Probably for the best. I'll kind of nod and start getting together some breakfast for everyone.
Argenta just kind of comes over and loops her arms around everyone, like their heads. Well, the gang's back together, but boy, do you all look like shit.
Nope. When this is over, we need to stop by a town. I don't think I've seen civilization in far too long.
I agree.
I mean, there's something nice about this, but I get it.
Yeah, it's been way too long. I mean, before that incident with me getting sucked into the plane of water, I think it's been like months upon months since I've seen an actual building. So here's hoping I can see one again.
We'll go see one. Who's ready to go blow up an orb?
Just quietly start eating a roll that I didn't know I had.
Is it crunchy?
Yeah, a little bit.
as you guys are just speaking, you hear the distinct sound of metal rubbing against metal as Leopold starts walking towards you all. Okay, are we all ready? And
Yeah.
he kind of looks at everyone, but he focuses his gaze on Henri for just a few extra seconds.
Just kind of nod my head, like kind of off to the side, like I tried.
Sorry. And you see him scowl for like a millisecond and go, "All right, let's get going." As he yells over to the wizard and goes, "Oh boy, can't wait to see how this goes." Any other prep work you guys want to make before you set off?
I will spend a few moments staring into the fire,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of center myself on the flames and change a few of my spells.
Okay.
Are any of them walking slowly from exhaustion? You?
Me and Bella. I'm at half speed right now.
Okay.
From the long rest, should you have gone back down to exhaustion level 2?
Yeah, 2 is half speed. 3 was disadvantage on attack rolls and saves.
Oh, that's right. I have disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws.
Huzzah! I'm going to pull out 2 pinches of dirt while we're on the... Just kind of reach down and grab them as we're on the way to the portal.
Mm-hmm.
And tap both of them on the back and cast Long Strider.
Now, are you casting it at a higher level? Because I believe that's concentration.
No, it's not.
It's not? Oh, never mind. So yeah, as you guys are kind of walking, Vala and Henri, you guys feel your legs just feel incredibly heavy. But suddenly, as Argenta comes by and just kind of pats you, the like weights are lifted a little bit, and you can move a little faster. What are the specifics of Long Strider?
Their movement speed increases by 10 feet.
Okay.
So an extra 5 for us.
So, yes, this is seen as the movement speed would increase your overall movement speed, and then that would be halved. So,
and once, like right before we're about to initiate the orb, I'm going to cast Freedom of Movement on myself.
okay.
Because I have the invocation. Let me see what it. I'll read it while you.
Okay. So you guys all return to the cavern itself. You see, unlike the other times where the wizard just kind of standed in the corridor, or the last time where he was kind of casting a spell, this time you see him start drawing lines on the floor in the corner furthest away from the orb. And any of you with any magical abilities at all can tell that he's creating some sort of what looks kind of like a summoning circle. It's definitely not a teleportation circle, but it's incredibly intricate and different. And after he's done, he's like, "Okay, so who wants to give me the final piece here? Anyone?
Final piece.
Well, this was created using blood magic. In order to uncreate it safely, I need to use blood magic as well, and, well, I don't happen to have any blood on me."
How much do you need?
Oh, not much. It shouldn't affect your abilities whatsoever.
Oh.
Oh. What, let me cut my own hand, and I am my right, but he still get the blood.
Wonderful. I love how you do that whole erupts into light or whatever you do. That's just brilliant. So over here, and he comes over, and as your right, normally your right kind of heals the wound itself, but leaves a bit of a scar. As it starts to kind of close up again, he grabs your hand and squeezes hard enough that it's painful. And you see the wound open again and start bleeding much more freely than you're used to seeing it bleed. You take 14 points of the damage as he gets a large amount of your blood. And as it kind of drips onto the summoning circle, you watch as certain parts of the circle start to sink into the ground a bit to form this kind of strange blood channel. And after it's done, he's like, "Perfect! Now we just need the whole creature to die, the thing. Which is on you! Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go."
Hey, Jody.
Yep.
While he was doing the whole drawing of the circle and everything, could I look for the bar and the actual shot that I have shot into the fire alarm missile?
Yeah, sure. Just make a perception check.
That dice is weird. What is that? Oh, 13. Okay. Well, it's like this really weird silver on silver, so I couldn't really see the numbers. 20, not natural.
20. Okay. So while they're doing that, you go looking around, and you are able to find your bar. As you go over and you pick it up, you're actually surprised it's still slightly warm to the touch, and you're not exactly sure how or why, because everything else in here is, to use the exact right words, stone cold. And yeah, it's not uncomfortable or anything, but it's definitely warm.
Huh. Interesting. All right.
All right, guys, when we're ready, I think I have an idea for how to kick this off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just need everyone to stand back.
All right, I'm on you.
I just back up to the wall, the kind of the corner closest to the orb, so I'm still close enough.
Yeah, you're not going to want to stand there.
Okay, I'll just start moving.
Never mind.
I'm going to load that kind of how I did with the fire elemental, the rounded bar shot. I'm going to load it into the second chamber for the second shot.
Okay.
I'll kind of guide everyone to stand at least 20 feet away from the sphere.
Oh, this isn't going to go poorly at all.
Nope.
So, any other prep work before you guys all get ready?
I'm just going to cast free movement on myself.
Okay.
It's free, might as well.
Vala, what you doing?
I will focus on the light, and then turn away from it and cast Hunger of Hadar. So opening the void between the stars, a gateway to the darkness, a region infested with unknown horrors. A 20-foot radius sphere of blackness and bitter cold appears, centered on a point within range and lasting for the duration. The void is filled with a cacophony of soft whispers and slurping noises that can be heard up to 30 feet away. No light, magical or otherwise, can illuminate the area, and creatures fully within the area are blinded. So anything that starts its turn in that area takes 2d6 cold damage, and anything that ends its turn in the area has to make a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 acid damage as milky, otherworldly tentacles rub against it.
Cool. So I think I've seen this movie. Yeah. So you guys will watch as Vivala concentrates, and you see her eyes go completely. Her pupils expand to where they envelop her eyes, and they start to glow with this piercing, almost ghostly white light. And as she focuses, you see this tiny pinpoint of darkness that gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And you guys start hearing these strange sounds of whispers and slurping and chomping and otherworldly things. The whispers you can almost make out. You'll hear your name called in voices that sound familiar to you, and then immediately after, a blood-curdling scream will happen. And as this is happening, you guys suddenly feel a jolt in the ground beneath you. The entire floor seems to shift for a second. And then, other than the slurpy whispers, no sound. And then the ground shifts again. This time, more violently. Some of you have a little bit of a hard time just staying upright. And then silence again. Then the ground starts to shift uncontrollably. I need dexterity saves from everybody.
That was amazingly good. And I rolled disadvantage.
Let's start with Vala. What you get?
It'd be a 10.
All right, you fail. You are prone. Lillian?
That was 2025.
You're perfectly fine. You do a little bit of a backflip just to show how fine you are. Argenta?
9.
You are prone. Henri?
Show Argenta how it's done. 21.
You do a little pirouette. Commander?
23.
And you would do a pirouette, but you are far too cool for that. So you just kind of stand on one leg and stare at people.
Soy flamingo? Okay.
Yeah. As you guys are sitting there, the ground doesn't stop shaking. It keeps getting more and more. You start seeing cracks appear, and then suddenly, bursting out of this 20-foot sphere, you see this giant column of stone just start rising up, getting taller and taller, going 10 feet, 20, the 30. It eventually impacts the ceiling and stops. You see 5 smaller columns shoot off from it, and then another column of earth just erupt at a different angle and impact the roof in another area. The room starts to quake and to change even more. And you guys start having an even more difficult efforts to staying upright. And those of you that are prone are finding it nearly impossible to even attempt to try and get back up again because the ground keeps shifting. Suddenly, more earth and stone start to erupt from this area as you see what looks like a giant stone face start coming out, and the roof itself starts to crack. And after the face, which is easily 10 feet wide, You see shoulders and a torso, and suddenly the entire roof gives way as giant pieces of rock start falling. And I need dex saves from everybody. Anyone that is prone makes it with disadvantage.
Right.
Which may not matter, because I think both people that were prone might already have disadvantage. So we'll go backwards this time. Commander?
17.
You make your save. Henri?
18.
You make it. Argenta?
13.
You fail. Lillian? You may be muted.
I'll drop my silent spell on Lillian.
You move for me. And I did not friendly.
Dear little Lord. You don't even move. The rocks that are falling on you move instead. They just like stop in midair, and you just kind of look at them, you tap your foot, and they're just like, terribly sorry, and move. And then Vala.
19.
19. You may make it. So the only one takes damage is Argenta, I believe. And you take 12 bludgeoning damage as you're kind of bombarded with pieces of the ceiling.
All right.
And as the dust settles, you all are now at the bottom of a massive chasm, and above you is, and this is bigger than that, is this massive creature made of stone. He is easily, there we go. He is easily 60 feet high. The 30 feet wide, and just this massive creature of stone that kind of looks down at you and looks around and starts walking with its massive legs away from you guys. And that is where we are going to unfortunately end it for today. So if you missed any of the episode, I do upload all of these to my YouTube channel, to youtube.com/TrainerJody. Feel free to check them out there. Like I said at the beginning, next week, the 30th of September, I will be starting a brand new campaign. It's called Traversing the Veil. It's got a brand new cast of people, and should be a ton of fun. And there are audience interactions with things like that. They all use channel points, so there's no money involved or anything. Just we'll watch whenever I stream, and you earn channel points. You can use those for anything from giving them health, which might be useful for these guys, casting certain spells on them, even adding NPCs or boss encounters to the game. All of those are the things you can do if you tune in live. So tune in live next week. If you're watching this on YouTube, check us out live. We have lots of cool stuff for live viewers. Otherwise, that's all for me today, and I will see you guys next time. All right? Yeah. Bye-bye.